It's Thursday. Thursday Night Live.
Was that harmony?
It was. It's
That was
there's my philosophy is that there's always some kind of harmony.
Okay, yeah.
Whether it's a good harmony
Yeah.
or a bad one, there's always something.
Kind of threw me off a little bit.
Mark Sloria, if you're watching, please comment on what you think about that.
Yeah, he'd probably give it a thumbs down right now.
Oh.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
he's doing.
it's okay.
Welcome, guys, to Thursday Night Live, and we are glad that you are tuning in. This is our 5th show. It is
Number 5.
number 5. Like, what's a good kind of number 5 celebration?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's a big one.
It's not a decade yet or anything like that.
Is that what that means?
5, 10?
Well, yeah. What does Cinco de Mayo mean?
I do not know.
I thought you.
5th of May, yeah.
I thought you. Five of May.
5 of May.
Oh, okay. You said decade. Decade threw me off. I thought like it was.
No, I was
some
thinking
kind
like 10th episode or...
Oh,
I was
gotcha.
just trying to think, what can we celebrate in the 5th episode?
If you guys could have seen the insidious, judgmental look that our camera person gave us.
Our
when
producer,
They said,
there was a
5th
look,
of May!
there was a look
Duh.
of shame that I really felt. I really felt that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we are glad that you're tuning in with us, and we want to mention that while you are watching this whole episode, that we have prizes that we want to give away. And what we want to do is do hashtag PSM prizes and take a screenshot of anything that you see tonight and post it on your story and tag at Providence SM, and we will look at all those screenshots and we will select a winner who will win a prize. And last week we want to congratulate to our winner, Emily Prickett. She is winning a t-shirt and Chick-fil-A gift cards. But if you do that tonight, we will let you know what the prize will be. So you have to stay tuned all the way to the end to know what that prize is going to be.
I had
It's a
some
good one
Chick-fil-A.
tonight. It's a good one
I
tonight.
had some Chick-fil-A last night.
Chick-fil-A's.
When was the last time you had Chick-fil-A?
We saw Amy Owen. We got chicken minis. It was on Saturday for breakfast. I feel
Nothing like a chicken mini.
They're manna from heaven. This is exactly what I mean.
It's good.
It's a glimpse of it.
It's a glimpse. It's a glimpse.
That's all we can say.
And we're looking forward to it? I didn't know that was a part of the future. That's okay, though.
In the past.
Yeah. Speaking of past, today's book spotlight
Bum, bum, bum.
is a book called Pilgrim's Progress. A lot of books we recommend have been kind of, I don't know, a little more organized, but Pilgrim's Progress is a lot like a story, and it's a story about the Christian life. So if you're a lot more into stories and novels and historical fiction in that kind of sense, that would definitely be a fun book to read. It's really light in some sense, and then also kind of deep in another sense. So yeah, check it out if you're interested in reading a good Christian story, kind of like Chronicles of Narnia.
By John Bunyan.
By John Bunyan, written while he was in prison. So only good can happen when someone writes from prison.
Fun story about John Bunyan that I remembered when I was in high school that was told to me. In the cover of his Bible, he wrote the quote, "This book will keep you from sin, or sin will keep you from this book." So that was always a quote that really stuck with me and remember today. But John Bunyan, love the word.
Pilgrim's Progress.
Pilgrim's Progress. Look into it.
Bam.
So we are now going to move on to our 6-foot challenge. And we have a special guest that we're going to introduce you to. But in order to introduce you, we are going to go
Couple
outside.
stats about our guest. Stat number 1
Number 1.
was the starting point guard for UNC in 1983.
1983.
Fact number 2, has swam with sharks with a national leader. Fun fact number 3, now this is probably the best one out of them, has donated their gallbladder to a member of America's top 10 most wanted.
Multiple times, right?
We only have one gallbladder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, anyway, those
I
3
feel like
stats.
that just fitted in with your stats because
Yeah.
I know our special guest is going to be offended by the first fact.
Yeah, I thought about that. If you didn't catch it, those were all false and not meant to result anything other than arbitrary ideas by me, Sam Nelson, trademark. So.
On this 6-foot challenge, we are going to be competing for this prize. So if you guys would follow us, we are heading outside and you will meet our special guest. Oh yeah! Guys, look what we brought here for you today. We hope you are excited. It's Applause Applause!
Repeat that.
We're playing for this special prize right here, this trophy, and we want to introduce you to Phil Medlin, who is our missions pastor here at Providence. So Phil, you have a nickname that people call you here at Providence, or at least some of the pastors. What's your nickname, if you could tell everybody at home?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It describes your height.
Oh, 6'9"?
6'9"?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so did you ever get the stereotype tall jokes when you were, hey man,
All the time. How's the weather up there?
how's the weather up there?
Yep.
Or because you're tall, do you play basketball?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Phil actually plays basketball. And so what we're going to do, we're going to play a game of COVID, me versus Phil. The real reason why I wanted this is because Phil beat me in Thailand on our first mission trip together, and now this is basically a rematch. So Phil and I are going to play, and Sam's going to commentate for us.
It's a spike game, folks.
It's a spike game.
All right.
So I need to go first.
Really glad to be here tonight, folks. We've got a great game ahead of us. I've got our legitimate microphone here. So we got a good match ahead of us. There's spite involved, and there's certainly going to be action, blood, sweat, and tears. So let's go ahead and take a look at the court.
You ready?
I just want people to know that he's been warming up this whole time while we've been out inside.
I just walked in the door.
He also brought his personal ball,
Just walking
and
in the
I
door.
got this slick old ball. So this is what we're gonna do.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
what
first,
you're hearing,
That's first to see right there.
what you're hearing right now is a lot of justification and a lot of.
Oh, okay, man.
I think he just got a C.
Let's go on this other side right here. That's a layup.
Oh,
Tim Duncan.
We love that bank shot. Give me that. See.
Other side.
Jarek Oxendine is not off to a great start. He has lost control of his ball, otherwise known as his instrument. Ooh.
Let's see if the tall man shoots threes.
What you just heard there, ladies and gentlemen, was called smack talk.
Yeah.
We call that
Over, Dennis,
Providence.
I feel like the wind blows more of my shot.
Oh, okay.
Tonight's game, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Krispy Kreme Donuts. If you're in the mood for a warm, gooey, trans fat saturated piece of pastry, please choose Krispy Kreme Donuts.
We're inspired by Save the Last Dance. No, The Last Dance. Jordan, free throw.
If you didn't hear that, Jarek Oxendine is quoting popular cultural reference The Last Dance, a documentary on the NBA.
Okay. Nice spot over here.
What are we at?
It's a three.
Oh!
CC.
CC.
It just occurred to me, folks, that we're just still on the letter C. I thought they were a lot farther along than that.
Layup. Okay then.
If you watch closely, Jarek calls upon his Native American ancestors to give him strength before every shot.
I heard that too, by the way. Oh no!
Phil Medlin does not have the same Native American ancestors.
All right. He's got to do a little turnaround, fall away. Turnaround, fall away.
if you're not sure what that term meant, turn around, fall away, check out Wikipedia, because I don't know.
A little bit deeper. A little bit deeper on it. Yeah, you go. In the corner. In the corner. There you go. That's it. Oh! Nice shot.
Man. Pretty sure if you see all the East boots on here,
Yeah.
it's pretty slick.
Mm.
Oh. Okay.
I think we're at CO.
All right. I'm calling swish on the turnaround. Swish on the turnaround. BB, it's about halftime, right? Halftime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our halftime show. First, we have a musical guest, Britney Spears. Just kidding, Britney Spears isn't here, but we do have a fun competition for our quarantine questions.
Da, 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 da.
All right, if I can have both teams take a side at different ends of the court, we've got a little competition for you guys.
Ends of the court.
Ends of the court, yep.
Okay.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how this is going to work is I've got a list of questions here that will give you the life, personal history, and drama of each player's past. And we're going to see how far they can get in answering those questions before the time is up. We've got 60 seconds on the clock. We're going to start with Jarek here. Let's go over to Jarek. All right.
60 seconds. Really don't remember these questions.
All right, Jarek, we've got 60 questions, or we've got a number of questions here with 60 seconds on the clock, starting the minute I start my first question. Okay, are you ready, Jarek?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. What is your favorite city?
Raleigh.
Best gift you've ever received?
A truck.
Last gift you gave?
Flowers.
Favorite movie?
Cars.
Would you rather aliens that are robots or organic?
Organic?
Living material?
Yeah.
Flesh?
Yeah.
Which one?
Wait, say that question again?
Would you rather have aliens invade the Earth be robotic or organic?
Robotic.
Okay.
I'd rather be robotic.
Okay, great. One thing you have to have in your fridge at all times.
Mountain Dew.
What is the last thing you've cooked?
Crab.
Okay, something you've always wanted to try but are too afraid to do.
Skydiving.
Interesting. Would you rather lose the ability to read or to speak?
Lose ability to speak.
If you could duet with any artist, who would it be? I'm sorry I pronounced that so weird.
John Legend.
Okay, John Legend. Would you rather covered in fur or scales?
Fur.
And that brings us to the end. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Beat that,
All right, let's move on over to Phil Medlin here.
Beat that, Phil.
What's my goal here?
You got to beat 11 questions, Phil.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, timer on the clock, 60 seconds to answer as many questions as he can. Here we go. Question 1, what is your favorite city?
Raleigh.
Best gift you've ever received?
Car.
Last gift you gave?
A card.
All right, favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay. Would you rather aliens invade the Earth be robotic or organic?
Organic.
One thing you have to have in your fridge at all times.
Milk.
What was the last thing you cooked?
Steak.
Something you've always wanted to try but are too afraid to do.
Bungee jumping.
All right. Would you rather lose the ability to read or to speak?
Read.
If you could have a duet with any artist, who would it be?
J-Lo.
Would you rather be covered in fur or scales?
Scales.
What is your favorite karaoke song?
I can only imagine.
Okay. You started a clothing line, so whose style do you admire?
The thing with the whale. No, Polo.
Okay. He was thinking Victor Vines, ladies and gentlemen. Back at age 5, would you rather be back at age 5 with what you know now? Ooh, okay. That was a long question. You beat Jared Oxendine with a whopping 13 questions. Phil is our winner of 14 questions tonight. All right, I'm going to ask you guys pick one of the questions that I asked and expound on it.
Well, the reason that I always like to have milk in the refrigerator is because usually, my kids will love this, at nighttime I eat a bowl of Captain Crunch or Rice Krispies chocolate.
Chocolate, interesting.
Yeah.
He's a sugar guy.
Yeah. And that's my dessert for the
Okay.
night, so I gotta have milk.
Question for you: Captain Crunch original berries? All berries?
Original. I don't like the crunch berry.
Okay. I like the berries. I like the berries.
Do you?
Hey, I'm a neutral.
Our
kind of
students do on the cereal bar.
guy. Ooh, yeah.
On the cereal
I've had
bar.
it. I've
The
had the
berries.
Captain Crunch berries.
They-
It's
they
very
love the
good.
berries.
It's very good. Jared, what about you?
I really want to go skydiving, but
Okay.
I don't know if I'd honestly do it. I honestly don't think Brittany would allow me to do it,
Yeah.
but I really would go skydiving.
Most
So,
life insurance policies have an exemption
yeah,
clause for skydiving.
That is true. But bungee jumping would be hilarious because you're pretty tall.
Yeah.
So-
Probably, you know, if
You
my
go
head hit the
down,
ground. Yeah.
All right, back to our game, ladies and
All right.
gentlemen, of
Okay,
COVID
all right.
basketball with Jarek Oxendine and Phil Medlin.
Start back out with the money shot. Oh, I got C. That's it. Okay. Gotta get one in to get started. There we go. Uh-oh! Ah! That's me. We beat Jarek at his own shot. Ball game. That's ball game. Right there. Blowout.
That's it.
No pressure. No pressure. You remember in Thailand?
That brings us to the end of our game, folks. I can't say it was exciting, and I can't say it was worth watching, but you watched it.
Sam, would you kindly present him with this trophy?
Everyone raise your right hand. Everyone raise your right. Place it over your heart. And now, Phil Medlin, would you please raise your right hand?
Okay.
And repeat after me.
Yes, sir.
I, Phil Medlin,
I, Phil Medlin,
the 6'9",
the 6'9",
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to protect
protect
and serve
and serve
the state of Raleigh
the state of Raleigh
City.
with this trophy.
Yes.
This trophy.
with this trophy. All right, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. All right.
Our new commissioner of the Raleigh Police Force. Why that's so
my
funny to me.
God.
but-
All right.
So bad. So bad.
Not the protector we deserve, but the one we need.
All right, guys. So now I don't know if I should get in the. Am I in a good spot for
Too
sun?
bright for you?
Well, I'm fine. Now we're going to move on to our 1 minute message. Okay, so guys, I wanted to share with you. So we've been still reading through the book of James and actually memorizing scripture together. And I hope that you've been joining us with that challenge. We got through James chapter 1 today. But I wanted to read to you in James chapter 2, verses 17 through 18. It says this: so to faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. And this week in our spiritual discipline, Sam shared with us the idea of serving. And we talked about Jesus followers are called to serve others. That we look for those who are in need. We look for those who are different from us. But all of this is showing works because our faith needs to be active in what we're doing and have evidence for it. And I love this illustration by William Booth to kind of help summarize this idea of faith and works. He says this. He said, faith and works should travel side by side, step answering step, like legs of men walking, first faith, then works, and then faith again, and then works again, until they can scarcely distinguish which is one and which is the other. In other words, what he's saying, it's faith first, because we have to be clear that works does not save us. Works does not justify us before God, but only faith in Jesus Christ. So we have this vertical relationship between us and God, but our faith should be an overflow into our lives. That people who are on this earth should have this horizontal testimony and witness that we are believers. So it's faith in Jesus Christ, but then it's an overflow of works. So it's faith, works, go as fast as you can to where you can't tell them apart. And this is what William Booth and this is what James is saying, is that when people look at our lives, when they see our faith in action and in deed, they look at us and they wonder about our faith, but our faith is also pointing to the God who has saved us. And that's what we're challenging you and encouraging you, is that even in quarantine, how can you look to serve others? How can you look to point others to Christ, who has saved us by grace alone, through faith alone, in Him alone? And that's what we want to continue to ask this question. So when we think about serving, what are ways you can serve this week? This is Mother's Day. How can you be serving your mom? How can you be serving your family? And then looking forward to next week, we're going to be talking about the spiritual discipline of evangelism. And this is where I'm going to ask Phil to come back in, because we want you guys of how we can point others to Christ. Phil's going to share a little bit of what we can do to share our faith even in this quarantine season. So Phil, what's your thoughts on our students of what ways they can share the gospel?
Thanks, Jarek.
Even in this.
I know it's been difficult being at home, homeschooling. It's not what you all envisioned to end the year up. And so you're not at school able to share the gospel with your friends at school. But I can promise you, most of you are on TikTok. Most of you are on Instagram. And so why not use social media as an avenue to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ? And so while you're making your TikToks, doing your little dances, throw something about the gospel in there. Throw some Bible verses in there. Maybe do a TikTok about the church or Jesus or your youth group, inviting someone to join the youth group. And then on Sundays, start a watch party on your Instagram, on your Facebook, and get people to join in to watch church with you. So I think those would be some good tips for you going forward while we're still in this stay-at-home order.
So is it safe to say that you were on TikTok doing the dance?
No, but my wife was. My wife was. So check her out. She's good. But Juju's the master. She is the master at TikTok.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Phil. So guys, to end the night, we want to also give you a prize, and if you do hashtag PSM prizes and take a snapshot of what you've seen tonight and tag in at Providence SM, the winner of this week is going to win a book on missions by Max Stiles, which is a sweet and short overview of how we can be purposeful in sharing the gospel in our everyday context. And then on top of that, you're going to win dinner for your entire family. Doesn't matter how big your family is. Yes, Sam. You will win dinner from a local business here in Raleigh. So guys, last thing is our announcements. We have movie night this Friday at 7 p.m. We had some technical difficulties and some miscommunication last week on our Netflix, but this Friday at 7 p.m. we're going to have our Netflix party. And then we have Trick Shot Challenge Round 2, which we're going to record Phil hopefully doing another trick shot for us tonight. And then just continue to stay connected with us on social media with our weekly snapshots, and we will be sending out a summer plan update for you guys of what the student ministry is going to be doing for the summer. Other than that, we thank you guys for joining us, and this is Thursday Night Live signing off.
2-0.
2-0.